so today I'm Miranda Hodge, if you didn't know that, which I'm sure you do because you're on my profile already. I run the Cherished Mum Space Coaching. I help parents, I help teachers, and I basically help people with life coaching and with anything to do with their kids. All right, so this is the sort of stuff that I do. Now, what I'm going to be sharing about today are setting healthy boundaries. Now, this is very, very important. Very, very important. And Kylie Broadfoot, if you're out there, then I'd love you to give me a little shout out because I know that you are the queen of boundaries, literally called the Boundaries Queen, and you've got so much to add on this topic. But what do we do? How do we set healthy boundaries? I meet a lot of parents and a lot of people in general who struggle with setting boundaries with other people. Now, this is something that everybody struggles with, okay? No one loves setting boundaries. No one loves saying things or doing things that really, really make us stand really firmly on our beliefs if we feel like it's going to impact other people. Now, I shouldn't say no one, but most people that I meet struggle with this actual situation, okay? So I'm going to be sharing today 3 ways or 3 steps that I go through when it comes to setting those healthy boundaries. Okay, and hopefully that will help you guys if you want to set boundaries with your children, set boundaries with your business, set boundaries with other people in your life, family, all that sort of thing, because the people closest to us are often the people that we need to set boundaries with. Okay, so here we go. This is the first thing that I do for setting healthy boundaries. The first thing that you have to do before you even start setting a boundary, before you start talking to somebody else, is basically think about what it is that you really, really want. What do you want? Why are you setting the boundary in the first place? What's the plan? What do you want out of this? And how is it going to help you? Okay, what's the point of setting the boundary? So think about what you really, really want. What are your values? What are you setting the boundary for? Is it for your business? Is it between you and another person? Is it going to be the same between you and the next person that comes along? Is this a you boundary, or is this a you boundary for that other specific person? Okay, so for instance, you might not want one person asking you questions in a specific area, like a sensitive topic that you don't want to talk about, but the next person who comes along, you might be quite happy to talk about that thing with them because you've got a different relationship. Okay, so that then results in the way that you go about sharing that boundary with people will need to be more of a one-on-one thing, not a, can everyone please move away and not ask me about this topic anymore. So I'm just putting it out there that you need to be aware of who you're saying the boundary to. You need to be aware of what you actually want. Not only what you don't want, but what you do want. So basically, if you've got a person who's asking you lots and lots of questions, you can go, you know what, I don't want to answer those questions, but I can still answer these other ones. Okay, happy for you to talk to me about this stuff. I really want us to go in this direction with our friendship. Or I really want our family to move in this direction. Not just no, 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 but some of this is actually proactively what we're going to be doing. Okay, lots of you guys might know, or maybe you don't, that when I first started talking online, when I first started sharing on the Cherished Mum Space Coaching, or Smart Mama, Smart Kids, it was back then, when I first started sharing, I talked a lot about proactive versus reactive. Now, this is something that I'm really still passionate about, because if you're only reactive, people don't have, or you don't have, a pathway to then step forward on. So thinking about Indiana Jones, if he was just reactive when he had to step across the big, the canyon that he needed to walk across, if you haven't seen it, go see it, it's a great movie. If he was just reactive, he would never have ended up moving across that, that unseen bridge across the canyon. He had to also be proactive and go, you know what, I don't want to do this, I can't see it, but I need to be able to take a step, so I'm going to throw some sand on the bridge to see it. Okay, so in other words, don't just say no, 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 I don't want this. We also need to often, not all the time, but often have a way that people can still move forward. Okay, so think about what you want, what you do want, and what you don't want. And as part of that, think about the results that are going to occur. So sometimes people set boundaries and go, yeah, I really, really want this boundary. I do not want this person to do. Okay, I want this to happen. Okay, think about what might happen as a result of that. If you tell someone that you don't want them to come to your house, for instance, then that's quite a strong boundary, then you might then turn other people off. You might then have that person take that to the nth degree, which hopefully they won't if they're an adult. Okay, you might then, your children might not then be as good of friends because that adult might say to their child that they don't want their child in their house. They might take it that little bit further. So take a little bit of thought, a bit of time to think about it. That's the very first step before you even think about how you're going to say it, any of that stuff. What are you setting? Why are you setting it? How are you setting it? And think about what actually might happen as a result of that. Okay, and if you're in a business, if you're a business person, then this goes for you guys. And you guys are going to already know about boundaries, because you can't have a business without boundaries, or it's not a business for very long. Okay, or you're a burnt out business person, right? So setting boundaries, have a think about what's going to happen in your business, have a think about how you're actually going to set those boundaries. What do you want? What do you not want? What are you actually going to do about it? And how do you want things to look in the future? Because that's when you can set boundaries that really matter to you and that are really, really proactive boundaries that help you move forward. Okay, it's the same in family and it's the same in teaching. We need to be able to set boundaries, okay, so that we can move forward with the kids in our care. Okay, number 2, choosing your language carefully. Now this one is one that people often think about when it comes to setting boundaries. Okay, choosing language carefully. So this is very similar to emotion stuff when you're talking emotions with your small kids. Okay, when you've been angry or they've been angry or whatever. This is what I need. So it needs to be about you. Okay, if you're setting the boundary, it's about you. It's not about blaming them. It's not about shaming them. It's not about making the other person or the other business person or the person that you're working with or talking to or child that you are educating, any of those things. It is not about making the other party feel like they've done something wrong, because that is when boundaries really, this conversation like derails really, really fast. Right? Hands up if you've had one of those conversations before. It's not about you did this, therefore you are not ever going to come into my house again. It's I need more space in my house or whatever it is. I need this and therefore this needs to happen. I feel overwhelmed with too many people in my house, therefore let's just meet at a park from now on. Okay? I feel like this. Can we please try this? Or I don't want you to this. How about we go and meet at a park? How about we, you have the kids on a Saturday night instead of a Friday night? How about this? Okay, how about you hop off that table and you just sit on a chair? Okay, because we don't sit on tables in classrooms, for instance. Okay, or at home. Okay, those conversations with your business people, whatever it is, if you need to set boundaries, it's all about you setting the boundary. It's not about you blaming other people for the fact you have to set a boundary. All right, so that is key. When it comes to setting boundaries, it's probably one of the most important points. When it comes to setting boundaries, make it about yourself, because you're that person. You are the person who's choosing to set a boundary right now. It's not about the other person. Okay, it might be about their actions and things like that have happened before that have caused you to set the boundary, but you've chosen to set it, and it needs to be about you setting it. Okay, and with care for the other person's feelings. All right, so using the I's, lots and lots of I words, or our family, or we, work better with this. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, number 3. Number 3 is really helpful to have when you're setting a boundary, and I use this all the time with my kids. I use it all the time at school when I'm teaching, and I use it all the time wherever I am, often. Okay, basically you want to be softening the blow if you can. Now that's another way to say it. Okay, obviously I don't use blows, but basically you want to be adding a little bit of sweetness to what you are saying that might impact somebody else. Okay, so thinking about letting your kids know that other things are going to remain the same. We just aren't going to be doing this anymore. Okay, we're not going to be throwing in the house anymore. We can do other things in here, but we can't do that. So that's an outside thing. Okay, talking to other people that you know and going, you know what, I'm still going to be available for this, this and this, but I'm not doing this anymore. This is not serving me. Okay, I feel overwhelmed with this, which happens a lot. Okay, I need to be able to be there for my family. Those sorts of boundaries, okay, I need, or we need, my family needs, my kids need. Okay, you can make it about not just yourself, but about your children, by the way. if that's the boundary you're setting. Let other people know that they're still going to be able to see your children. If this is between you and parents or parents-in-law, because that is often where the boundary stuff comes in. Yes, of course you'll still be able to see the kids. Yes, of course you can still do this. I'd love to see you on Friday and I'll bring them along and we'll go to the beach together. Whatever. Okay, very occasionally there's not something you can say if it's a really extreme situation, but mostly you can still go, we're still going to be able to do this. We're still going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. We're just not going to do this anymore because we can't meet on Wednesday afternoon anymore because my child has been so tired that they can't even deal with things on a Thursday. That's easy. Okay, so setting a boundary like that, and then it's just up to you to stick to it and to hold fast that boundary and say, you know what, I said 3 weeks ago we really can't do Wednesday afternoon and I'm really sorry. You guys can meet, let's meet another time, soften the blow a little bit. Now, I still can't meet on a Wednesday afternoon because my child gets too tired. Okay, just repeating the boundary like that. Okay, so there you go. There are 3 things that I go about before setting boundaries or when setting boundaries. Okay, it's really important. The first one's so important. So think about what you really, really want, what you don't want, what you do want. Second one, choose language carefully. So it's all about I or my family, we need. That's what it's all about. And then the third one is to let them know, so soften the blow a bit, let them know there's everything else is going to remain the same. There's going to be different things that are going to still be happening. This is great for kids, by the way. That's very, very important for kids because often they go, they're setting a big boundary now, they're really angry at me. No, often you're not really angry at them. You're just going, and this is not going to happen anymore. We're going to be able to do this next time, or we will go and play a puzzle later on, but right now I cannot play with you. That sort of boundary has to be set all the time, let's face it. Okay, so they're the sort of things that I do when setting healthy boundaries. Now, if you want help setting healthy boundaries or working out what to say, working out how to do it, working out should you even be doing it, working out some of that overwhelm around boundaries, I'd love to have a chat with you. Okay, if you want to jump in for some of my coaching in the start of the new year, I'm now taking bookings for end of January and into February. So if you are someone who wants to chat to me, I can do any of that stuff with you. Contact me and I'll let you know straight away. I'm really good at that, whether or not I can help you or whether or not I can't help you. So, and I'll put you in the direction of someone who can, hopefully. All right, if you want some help, I'm Miranda from the Cherish Mum Space Coaching, and hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. Set those boundaries. Bye.